So in this video what I'm going to discuss is my top 5 things that I love about the Audi S3. Now I've had the car for about 3 weeks now and I've driven it for about 700 miles, so I've had a little bit of time to get used to the car and understand there's little things that I like about it and things that I don't like about it. So number 1 is the exhaust sound. The exhaust sound on the Audi S3 far surpasses what it was on the Golf R. Now I know that the Golf 7.5 is coming out and that will have the engineered pops and cracks inside of it, but the Golf R that I had, the Mark 7 before this, it was pretty flat from the get-go until I put an aftermarket exhaust on it. But from the Audi S3 I was getting pops, I was getting little cracks here and there, and it's been more amplified by the resonator delete that I had done on the first day of collection. This car's pretty loud, the videos don't really do it justice, but it definitely turns heads, and to be honest it's something that I can live with day to day, and I'm debating on whether to even get it louder or not, because the way it is at the moment it's pretty loud as it is.
It's pretty decent at the moment, to be honest. I mean, a few months now before you get a new exhaust.
Yeah, or next week.
Or tomorrow.
I have opened up the valves on this exhaust, so the valves are permanently open, they don't shut. It turned out that even in dynamic mode they shut until it hit about 3,500 RPM. Now they're just constantly open, so I always get that decent deep, low sounding exhaust note, which is a benefit. I'm not too fond of the valves closing and opening, I'd rather just have them completely open all the time. So number 2 is the facelift looks. So before I bought the Audi S3, the M140 and the M240i were cars that I was considering buying. I was then taken to the showroom to have a look at an Audi S3 because I was told it was completely changed from the pre-facelift, and they were not wrong. It looks far more aggressive at the front, far more aggressive at the rear. The rear looks more like an Audi RS3 than the pre-facelift did, and it's one of the reasons why I bought it at the end of the day. Alongside the looks is the black pack. The black pack deletes all the chrome basically, the wing mirror chrome, the front, the back chrome, and also the side chrome as well. It gives it a bit more of a meaner look, a bit more of a...
more sporty.
Yeah, more sportier look at the end of the day. It's also a bit more simplistic.
Yeah.
Chrome is a bit too flashy for me. The third thing I love about this car is the Super Sport seats. These seats are fantastic, and to be honest I wouldn't spec the Audi S3 without them. The previous car that I had was the Golf R, as I've mentioned before. The seats in there, bog standard seats, and whilst they did support you, they just didn't add anything special to the interior. They didn't add anything special that made the R at the end of the day. My brother has a Mark 6 Golf R and he has the Recaro Sportback seats, and they're fantastic. So the Super Sport seats come with lumbar adjustability, they come with base adjustability, sliding back and forth obviously. They're also heated from standard as well, which is also a nice feature. Number 4 on my list is the virtual cockpit. Now the virtual cockpit was again another necessity when I spec'd this car. To me, I get bored with cars very easily. The virtual cockpit adds that level of customization. You get to choose between the dials, you get to choose between the view on the screen, so you can have the expanded view or the smaller view. It really adds that bit of class. And the final thing that I like about this car is the sound system. The Bang & Olufsen sound system compared to the standard sound system is levels above what you would get in a bog standard car. Really, the sound system just adds to the actual music experience that you get. I do like listening to music when I'm in the car. I do like to just sit back, listen to music and get from A to B, and a good sound system it wasn't a necessity, but it was a nice feature to have with the black pack. So as I was speccing the black pack anyways, the sound system came with it, and overall I was really pleased that it did come with that. And to be honest, I would find it hard to go back to a standard sound system now, listening to it without any sort of reduction in clarity. You'll notice that I didn't bring up the performance of the vehicle. The reason why I didn't bring up the performance of the vehicle is because I had a Golf R before this, and the two together are very similar in performance. I think the Golf R was 300 brake horsepower, this is 315. There's not much difference when you step into the cars, so I didn't notice much of a change when I jumped from the Golf R to the Audi S3, except for the s-tronic gearbox. The Golf R was a manual. This being s-tronic, a lot easier to drive, and you get the power right when you need it. But I didn't want to have that in my top 5 list just because I've already experienced it with the Golf R, so it's nothing too special coming to this and having the same sort of speed. Now I am looking to get either a tuning box or a remap in the near future, as like I say, I'm very used to the Golf R. I've had that for 2 years now, and I'd like a little bit of change to the performance overall. Honourable mentions is the MMI system. Without it being touchscreen is absolutely fantastic for me. In previous cars where I did have a touchscreen as the user interface, it was a real pain when you're driving along, you're trying to hit the right buttons, but the car's making your hands move about and you're hitting the wrong buttons. It's just a pain. The MMI with the actual touchpad that you have down here in the center console makes selecting what you want a hell of a lot easier. And another one is the all-wheel drive system. Again, I don't have it in my top 5 list just because I've came from a Golf R which has all-wheel drive, has the 4Motion, which is very similar to the actual Quattro system. So I didn't include that in my top 5 list, but again, you know, it's just hard to live without. And it was one of the reasons why I didn't go with an M140i or an M240i. That'll do it for this video. If you could like this video, that would be great. The more likes I get, the happier I am. Thank you for the view. You probably added 0.1 of a penny in my bank account, so I am thankful for that. I only need a couple more million views to pay off the Audi, so let's hit that million.